America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse.
This was the moment Richard Nixon declared the war on drugs, an absolutely butchered the world's perspective on addiction.
We see addictions as a weakness of character or as a sign of poor will, but actually they are much more than a simple question of are you strong enough? Let's define what really are addictions. Scientifically speaking, it's a dependence on a substance or a feeling that can manifest in two ways, physical and mental. After some time of using a substance, you can develop an addiction to it. When you stop using the substance, your body will start experiencing withdrawal effects, which are mostly mental. One of the biggest misconceptions about addiction is that after a person starts withdrawing, it will look like in the movies, which is often portrayed by headaches, nightmares, vomiting, insomnia, depression, rage, and many other forms of deranged actions. But actually, these effects are only observed with two substances, alcohol and heroin. Almost all other substances will cause no such thing. But the mental side can be just as bad. Once again, scientifically speaking, addictions are caused by the body releasing dopamine, which is a substance produced by our brains supposed to reward us for doing something good. For example, eating, sleeping, and among other things, procreating. But some substances abuse this and trick our brains into never closing the receptors that accept dopamine. And when you withdraw, these receptors stay open and demand more. With physical addictions, there exists a so-called cycle of withdrawal that depends on the substance and the person experiencing it. But generally, it takes about 4 to 12 weeks for the physical withdrawal effects to end, but mental withdrawal effects can take years.
Volám sa Alica Kantorková, pracujem ako klinický psychológ, psychoterapeut a venujem sa oblasti adiktológii, čo je liečba syndromu závislosti.
Tak ja by som sa chcel spýtať, že s akými závislostiami sa najčastejšie stretávate u mladých ľudí?
U mladých ľudí sa stretávame s širokým spektrom závislostí. Najčastejšie je to pravdepodobne závislosť od marihuany, následuje závislosť od alkoholu a potom závislosť od tvrdých drog. A v súčasnosti aj gambling.
A myslíte si, že je možné sa úplne vyliečiť zo závislosti, dostať sa z nej?
To je veľmi dobrá otázka, na ktorú vlastne dodnes najväčší odborníci odpoveď nevedia. V skutočnosti vychádzame z takého klasickejšieho modelu, že veľmi veľa ľudí sa zo závislosti dokáže dostať. Ten odhad úspešnosti, čiže vyliečenia, dajme tomu, sa odhaduje v intervale veľmi zaujímavom od 5% do 30%. Hej? Rozličné terapeutické názory dávajú takéto širokánske rozhranie, ale v skutočnosti sa vychádza z takého fundamentu, že pokiaľ jeden celý rok v nechránených podmienkach, čiže v normálnom reálnom živote, v žiadnom liečebnom systéme, vo väzení, zavretý doma, čiže pri normálnom pohybe v nechránených podmienkach dokáže ten človek sa bežne pohybovať, žiť vyrovnane nejakým spôsobom v širokom slova zmysle svoj život, bez toho, že by znova sám siahol po tejto droge 1 rok a tým pádom sa považuje za zotaveného.
Ako by sme my vedeli pomôcť ľuďom so závislosťami vo svojom okolí?
To je veľmi zaujímavá otázka. Ako by mohol teda človek, ktorý nie je nejakým spôsobom postihnutý závislosťou, touto duševnou závažnou poruchou, pomôcť niekomu blízkemu, o ktorom vie, že je závislý, alebo ktorý je teda závislý. To je veľmi dôležitá otázka, pretože pomôcť takémuto človeku je veľmi, veľmi zložité, obzvlášť keď už je vlastne vo vývoji chronického štádia závislosti, tam potrebuje odbornú pomoc. Vysloviloženie odborné vedenie, ktorého z tejto duševnej poruchy postupne mu pomôže určitými metodami výjsť. Človek, ktorý je laik, alebo iným spôsobom chce mu pomôcť čiste na bázi priateľstva alebo nejakého iného supportu, tak vlastne môže mu pomôcť, pokiaľ je natoľko vnútorne silný, že mu dokáže robiť taký background, taký support v normálnom živote, ponúkne mu sociálnu sieť, ponúkne mu trávenie voľného času, ponúkne mu kvalitný hodnotový systém, ponúkne mu také potešenie z toho života, zážitky, ktoré sú ale kvalitné, sú úplne kontraproduktívne vlastne k drogovému spôsobu života a vťahuje ho do normálneho života.
Okay, so my grandfather is an alcoholic. He's been like that ever since I was born, so I don't really remember him as a normal person. My parents always wanted me and my sister to be shielded from it, but it didn't always work out since our grandparents are living below us. There was one time when he came home, well, nearly came home. He was riding his bike, then he fell down, scratched his face, and hurt himself. My parents rushed to him and helped him get inside. This story I heard pretty recently because it happened 10 years ago, and there is no chance I can remember that. It was weird having someone so close, but someone so distant from me. We haven't really talked to each other that much because he was either sleeping or away, drinking somewhere. Also, my other grandfather made it up for me. But 2 years ago, while he was eating his breakfast, he fainted. My family called ambulance, but I wasn't there to see him go away. Since then, I haven't seen him for about a month and a half. My family used that opportunity and put him into institute. He was there for a pretty long time, but when he came back, he was something else. He was like brainwashed. He didn't even remember our names. He couldn't walk. It was like he was restarted. It was like he was starting from beginning. About half a year from that, he was back to normal. Normal. We could talk again. Well, we could finally talk like two normal people. Even though he hadn't had access to money or alcohol, he always could have found something. It could have been his friends or, well, money he found laying somewhere. He basically used every opportunity to buy alcohol or to drink it. He's creative in finding ways how to hide it. When my grandmother sends him to shop to buy something, he buys 50-cent bottle of alcohol separately and then walks home. He puts it on his window, then goes inside, gives my grandmother the things he had bought, and goes to his room, opens his window, takes the bottle, and drinks it. I guess he thinks we cannot see him, but we stopped trying because it couldn't be helped. It's like sickness that you can't cure. I hope that no one from you will experience something like I had. It's nothing you should be jealous about. It's simply not good. Even though I can't really see it, I feel it. Thank you for your listening. Bye.